Sports time now. We say good evening to Damien Best. Damien, what's big tonight?
Well, very good evening to you, Lisa. Good evening to our viewers out there. Cricket news as usual. Shannon Gabriel has been added to the West Indies Test squad for the ongoing Sandals Tour of England 2020. The experienced fast bowler was among the reserves but has been drafted into the now 15-member Test squad. This is after proving his fitness following ankle surgery and also after impressive performances in the two inter-squad warm-up matches at the Emirates Old Trafford. On tour, he has bowled in 3 innings and grabbed 8 wickets for 122 runs. The 32-year-old is one of the most experienced members of the squad. Having played 45 matches, he has 133 wickets, placing him at number 15 in the West Indies all-time list of Test match wicket takers. He enters the upcoming series in the top 20 of the International Cricket Council's Test bowling rankings. The West Indies will travel from Manchester to Southampton tomorrow as they continue preparations in a bid to retain the Wisden Trophy in the #RaiseTheBat Test series. The first test will be played at the Ageas Bowl starting Wednesday, July 8th. Gabriel, Kyle Mayers and Joshua De Silva, meanwhile, were in the spotlight on the 4th and final day of the second Windies warm-up match at the Old Trafford ground today. Resuming their first innings on 49 for 5, Craig Brathwaite's 11 were dismissed for 178. Mears roughed up the bowling to end unbeaten on 74 with 9 fours and 3 big sixes, while Gabriel took 4 for 42. In Jason Holder's 11th second innings, there were 171 for 4 at the close of play. De Silva, who scored 133 not out in the first innings, was again unbeaten, this time on 56 for a total of 188 runs in the match. So scores overall, the Holders 11, 271 and 171 for 4. Brathwaite's 11, 178. The match ending in a predictable draw. Well, England all-rounder Sam Curran is awaiting the results of a COVID-19 test after falling ill on the second day of their inter-squad warm-up match. Well, the 22-year-old experienced sickness and diarrhea on Wednesday night and is self-isolating in Southampton. The results of his tests are expected tomorrow. Now, he played no part today, day 2 of the England warm-up match, in which Team Stokes were bowled out for 223 in reply to Team Butler's 287 for 5 declared. Their warm-up match and the 3-test series against West Indies, which begins on Wednesday, are all being played behind closed doors and in a biosecure environment. As part of living and training in Southampton, England players and staff had previously been subjected to a total of 702 coronavirus tests, all of which have returned negative results. Meanwhile, Windies head coach Phil Simmons, in a short message on the Cricket West Indies website, said it is indeed a sad time for the region with the passing of Sir Everton Weekes. In Manchester, the West Indies team paid tribute to the great man by wearing black armbands on the final day of their 4-day inter-squad warm-up match at Emirates Old Trafford. Well, Simmons returned to the field with his players today after his mandatory quarantine and COVID-19 tests.
Another sad day for West Indies cricket. This time it's the loss of someone who, I personally considered to be a gentleman of the game and someone who has done so much for West Indies cricket, not just on the field but off the field. Someone who you could go to and talk to about cricket anytime. I think the West Indies has lost a gentleman yesterday in Sir Everton Weekes, and from my point of view, just in 4 years ago, sitting having dinner with him and him talking about the cricket, he still paid a lot of attention to West Indies cricket, even in his 90s. And he could have a conversation with you about what was happening now as well as what happened in his time. So from all of us here, on a sad day for West Indies cricket, we've lost what has been a true icon of West Indies cricket in Sir Everton Weekes, and may his soul rest in peace.
The West Indies Players Association President and CEO Wavell Hines said, and I quote, "A true legend of our cricketing family has passed. Sir Everton's contribution to Barbados, West Indies and the global game is immeasurable. We salute his legacy and offer our heartfelt condolences to his family, friends and the cricket fraternity." Meantime, speaking to CBC Sports national hero, the right excellent Sir Garfield Sobers, regarded as the greatest all-rounder in cricket, describes Sir Everton as a person who was always willing to help. Sir Everton died yesterday at the age of 95 at his home in Chancery Lane, Christchurch, after a long ailment. He was the last surviving member of the legendary trio, the Three Ws, which also included Sir Frank Worrell and Sir Clyde Walcott.
Spent times with him as a young boy growing up. Then he used to play for JSC and that kind of thing, and always found him a very tremendous person to be with. He knew his cricket well, and he helped a lot of people. Seymour Nurse, Charlie Griffiths worked with him when he was coaching, and they learned a lot from him, helped them tremendously in their own game, and he's obviously going to be missed. His contribution to cricket in general and in West Indies cricket was tremendous. He was always a person that you can talk to. If he had to tell you where to get off, he'll tell you where to get off. He was that kind of person. But I always found him a very, very pleasant person, a person you enjoy being with. Played dominoes with him, and and he and I got on very well for many years. It was no different in his last few years.
Well, the International Cricket Council offered its condolences as well. In a statement, Chief Executive Mano Shirwani remembered ICC Cricket Hall of Famer Weeks as a top batsman of his era and one whose performances will be long remembered. Shirwani said, and I quote, his attacking batting contributed in making the West Indies such an attractive side to watch. To be in that team itself was such a big honour, but there were times when Weeks really stood apart with his distinct style. On behalf of everyone at the ICC, I send our sincere condolences to his family and friends, end quote.
We head back over to the sports studio for the second half in sports. Damien, over to you.
Thanks so much, Lisa. Well, it's just under 1 year before the staging of the inaugural Caribbean Games. June 30th was the 1 year mark in the countdown to the start of the Games, which are slated for Guadeloupe. The local organizing committee is making sure the word is out and that all is on track for next year's Games.
It was important for us to gather the media to confirm that the games will be happening on the dates initially planned, that is to say June 30th to July 4th of 2021. Also, we wanted to highlight the role of the games in the economic recovery of key sectors in Guadeloupe, such as tourism, air transportation, hotels, and even professionals. Also, we think that the games could be a symbol of resiliency and strength after being impacted by the health crisis. It was the occasion to give update on the organization itself and the progress made in terms of the sports competition planning, the draft of the schedules, contact with Caribbean confederations deciding qualifying mode, etc. And the new digital strategy adopted by NOC Guadeloupe during these times with the launch of the official Instagram page with fresh contents. In regards to the situation here in Guadeloupe, lockdown is over since May 11th, like everywhere in France, and shops, bar, restaurants have been open since June 2nd. We only have a few cases left, basically of people arriving from France or French Guyana, where the situation is really bad. But in terms of the virus circulation between people of Guadeloupe, it has been pretty low or even inexistent for the last 3 or 4 weeks. So life is pretty much back the way it was here in Guadeloupe.
Football news now, Liverpool were brought crashing down to earth as they kicked off life as the newly crowned champions with an emphatic 4-0 defeat at the home of the team they displaced at the top of English football. Back to some cricket news. Promising Windies fast bowler Shimar Holder says that being in a squad with senior pacemen from which he can learn is a big advantage. Holder, who had an outstanding first-class regional season with the ball, admitted that the level between youth cricket and test is vast, and he's thankful to be surrounded by experienced bowlers to guide him along.
It's actually a big transition coming from, I would say, youth cricket coming up, but I've had a few experience with senior level cricket in terms of A-team and present 11 from when it was younger, like from 17, 18. And I've also got a lot of information and a lot of guidance from Kimar Roach coming up playing for my franchise team back home in Barbados. So I know that if anything happened during these test matches, that I could easily go to either Shannon or or Jason or Kimar, and they will assist me anything I need.
Holder added that he feels honored to be part of a bowling unit which has been touted by many as the best crop of Windies bowlers the region has had in years.
For them to label us as the future fast bowlers, that means that they really see something in us. So I feel good to know that coach is looking at me and also the others could say that this is the future coming forward.